Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Animac here from Anime Uproar, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Naruto Virgin podcast. In this podcast, or this episode, we're going to be talking about the first part of the Chunin exams. And man, I freaking loved the Chunin exams so far. Like, this is genuinely an awesome arc. Really, 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 really good. Joining me, Gozen.
Yo.
And Nux and Briggs.
And Nux and Briggs.
Nice.
Nux cutting out as per usual. You love to see it.
Love to see it. Love to hear it.
I would love to see Nux's mic set up and what he does. Like, I swear he probably has a ball of cables. For someone so smart, I feel like your technology. I don't know what you got going on, man.
Yeah, one time he sent us an image of like his setup, and it was just like a laptop on an old like.
All right.
Well, it just shows you. It just shows you that you don't need to be a tech master, and you don't need the best equipment to kill it.
Living proof.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, Nux, for sure. I was gonna say, by the way, guys, definitely tune into this week's Rank Cafe anime podcast, which is available for free on Spotify. Just look up Rank Cafe on Spotify, because we're gonna be roasting the Crunchyroll Anime Awards and comparing our own award show, the World Anime Awards, to the Crunchyroll Anime Awards. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Definitely come vent with us, because there's a lot to be upset about. Not upset because we are men, not leaves, but I mean, critical. So we're gonna be critical. We're gonna be moist. It's gonna be great. Anyway, I'm ready to dive into the Chunin exams, bro, because I really enjoyed this. Like, I set out every day to read a certain amount of chapters, but when I started reading this, I just kept going. I couldn't even stop, and that's how I know. That's how I know that I'm really into a manga. It happened to me with One Piece before too, like Marineford and shit. So definitely big fan.
And it gets better, bro.
Thank you, my therapist over here. It gets better, anime.
It gets better.
It's the light at the end of the tunnel.
What stood out to you, Animac?
Well, I mean, he's the virgin, so I mean, I don't mean to be so impudent to suggest going in chronological order here.
Yeah, so Nux, you're right, because there's a ton of stuff that stood out. So we should just try to make it chronological. Like, right away, I want to scream out that first test was epic because of how it turned out.
Dude, that exam is better than anything you see in My Hero Academia.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely better than any of their exams or tests. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Because it wasn't at all physical, and yet it was brilliant in so many ways. So I personally loved it. I love the tension before, when Sakura is about to sacrifice herself for Naruto so that Naruto can take it again. But then Naruto, anyway, we can get to that because there was a lot of
later.
Leading up to that as well. Like, we had a bunch of important character introductions, like Gaara. That guy's
my
gonna be
boy. I love Gaara, the Harry Potter of Naruto.
Rock Lee too.
Rock Lee, the Harry Potter of Naruto.
So many insane characters introduced right here.
Not gonna lie, man. Add a pair of glasses to Rock Lee, and he could be a Harry Potter.
Bro, their eyebrows, Rock Lee and Guy Sensei, their eyebrows are on point.
Guy, we met
Bro,
Guy.
I know.
Our Lord and Savior, Maito Guy.
Two of my favorite characters in Naruto.
I loved it.
That was great. So what happens is, in the lead up to the exam, we meet a bunch of people because a bunch of Chunin hopefuls, candidates, are coming from all these different lands, right? And so Gaara is from the Sand Land. He's clearly
from
overpowered.
Sandland.
I mean, that works. That works, bro. Yeah.
He's clearly overpowered because right away, they established that this guy's on another level, and Sasuke is even wary of this guy. So, it's established that he's going to be important. Then we see the whole Kakashi thing where he recommends all three of them to take the exam, but he doesn't say that all three of them have to compete in as a unit. And he tells them, you can all choose individually whether you want to take the exam or not. So if anyone decided not to take it, the other two wouldn't have been able to take it either. But because they all decided, and Sakura was kind of insecure about it, but she decided to do it anyway. And then because of that, they were able to actually take the exam. If any of them said, I'm not ready or whatever, none of them would have been able to take it. So I thought, again, that was a cool little touch.
Dude, the mind games in early Naruto are actually unmatched.
Yeah, because Kakashi was even just because he knows, just by watching and observing them, that if he told them that if any of them dropped out, Sakura would just be pressured to join. One word from Sasuke and she's in,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
He wanted her to
And
make
there was
her own
also that-
decision.
Yeah, and there's also that Iruka Sensei moment where Kakashi straight up tells him, it's like, bro, you're out of line. They're no longer your students, they're ninjas.
Yeah, he's
That
like,
was,
they're
that was a
not
great
ready.
moment.
They're not ready. And then Kakashi's like, bruh, no.
Yeah, this guy has no idea what they went through with Zabuza and shit.
Yeah, and I mean, this guy also, Iruma or Iruka? Which one?
Iruka.
Iruka, yeah. So he knows them from when they were children, right? So he has an emotional attachment to them, whereas Kakashi met them much later, so he knows them in a professional manner.
Yeah, it's
Or-
like your mom, you know, she's not going to want you to put yourself in a dangerous... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Iruka is basically Deku's mom.
Deku's mom.
Except,
Naruto's mom.
Except he's also a character.
Yeah, and he's a
Unlike
badass.
Deku's mom.
Yeah,
Correct.
Deku's mom's biggest accomplishment was getting pregnant.
she's cute, though.
Wow, Nux with the controversial takes, bro. I guess you're used to calling out the MHA fandom and just like receiving
Yeah,
their...
I have too much fun with the MHA fans because they really get salty. It's too easy.
And MHA did take a lot from Naruto. They put their own spin
Dude,
on it, but they
I-
took
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot.
The thing is, with the MHA fans, they've never seen Naruto.
Yeah.
Like, and you could tell.
No, okay, a lot of MHA fans have seen Naruto. Come on.
Probably a lot, but I don't know
No, I
percentage
mean,
wise.
I'm sure a lot, but the ones that say that MHA is like the best shonen, they haven't seen Naruto.
Yeah, I guess
I mean,
MHA
there's a-
stands.
There's a lot
probably
of people like Anime Recon that value animation and fight choreography over everything. Like,
Okay, bro. MHA fights. By the way, we're going to be discussing that at the Roast of the Crunchyroll Awards. But most MHA fights are way too short and way too unstrategic, in my opinion. Now,
dude,
it gets
every
different
single
later on
MHA
in
fight
the
is just Deku getting his ass beat and then coming in with 1,000% punch with
They
beautiful
are
animation.
beautiful, though.
That's not everyone, but even one of those is too many. And there's
No,
definitely
there's a
some
good
of those.
amount, bro.
But
No,
it, as goes
every
said, it gets
major
better.
fight goes that way. Like,
In the
maybe
manga,
not
it
the
gets better.
side fights, but every major fight does go that way.
Yeah,
Muscular,
Naruto has better
overall.
fights.
Yeah, definitely. So far, the fights have been great in Naruto.
Yeah, and also the training that the ninjas are getting compared to the training that the students are getting in MHA, like you don't see training actually, you know, it develop the characters like they do in Naruto. Like the training all has mind games involved as well. It's Kakashi trying to pit them against each other in order to test their teamwork. You know, something like the bell test is not something you see in almost anything else. And the Chunin exams further exemplifies what being a ninja really means.
yeah,
And it's
no,
thinking outside of the box.
I agree with you, and I think that usually with MHA, the most boring arcs are their training arcs. Whereas here with like Naruto, like these training arcs have been extremely entertaining and fun. So I mean, it's a totally different world.
Hell yeah.
Agreed.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So what happens then is when they actually get to the test, they meet some minor characters, but they also meet some characters that are clearly important. One of them being Rock Lee, who he actually crushes when we first meet him. He crushes both Naruto and Sasuke in a fight, and he uses
Because
like
he's in love with Sakura.
Oh yeah, so he's trying to hit up Sakura, which respect. He doesn't know her that well. So no, I'm just kidding.
Respect. What the
No,
Yeah, it's
but no, he's forward. He just like admits to her right away. I like you. You know how in anime like they don't admit.
Oh yeah.
there.
The confidence.
No,
Yeah, I respect that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that
Actual,
the choice that is Sakura, I don't respect that as much, but it's all good.
Well, not everyone can be Inko Sensei, but
And what's interesting is even though like Rock Lee and the other people in his, like, he even says that there's someone else in his cell that is stronger than he is. They all waited a year, even though they're all like capable ninja. They all waited a year before doing the tuning exams. Meanwhile, Kakashi's kind of throwing these guys in right away.
The Mad Lad thinks they're ready, and I respect him.
And they probably will grow too,
Yes.
right? Because that's like Naruto and Sasuke, when they're put in that situation, they step up. Sakura will get on that.
Yo, Sakura did an exemplary job defending the bridge builder, and I don't want to hear a word about it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Anyway, we'll talk about Sakura. But so Rock Lee's interesting because he uses purely physical attacks. They call it taijutsu, and he has trained his body just beyond the levels of someone like Sasuke and Naruto, like in terms of the physical. So there's genjutsu and ninjutsu and other stuff that they use, but because Rock Lee is focused entirely on the physical, his body is just faster and stronger than Naruto and Sasuke's. So he can act faster and harder than they can do their whole like ninja.
Dude, what a Chad! Art, right? Kick Sasuke in the face while he's using his Sharingan.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah, exactly.
Sharingan couldn't keep up with Lee. That was such a sick moment. Oh,
it's not that he couldn't keep up with Lee, but like he couldn't react, even though he knows what Lee's gonna do. He can't stop him because he's not fast enough, right?
Also known as not keeping up.
Not keeping up. Thank you, Animac.
Well, it's like I said, it's not the Sharingan that's not keeping up. It's Sasuke's physical body that's not keeping up.
You clearly are a man with a degree in political philosophy.
Oh yeah, and so Rock Lee's master is Guy Sensei, right?
He's not just a mere guy.
He's amazing.
He has
this man is everything you want.
Yes.
In any human.
I did think it was really funny. First of all, apparently he's Kakashi's rival, so that was a cool thing.
Yeah.
Like biggest rival.
We thought Kakashi was this untouchable guy, right? And in walks the legend, Might Guy. And you know what he says?
He talks about the power of youth.
We've competed 50 times against you. No, 100 times, 50 times, 99
I think
times.
it's 99
I think he
times.
won by... Yeah, he won one extra time.
Yeah, 50 or 49 or something.
When I first saw that, I was like, what? Kakashi?
And Sasuke even points out that Guy was faster than him.
Yeah, dude. And if I remember correctly, this is the first time that it's mentioned that Kakashi's lightning blade cut a lightning bolt in half. That's where it got its name. Right?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't recall the exact part.
It was in the anime there. I remember he said that to the gamers.
Anyway, one other thing that I thought was really funny was how Guy reacts to Rock Lee, because Rock Lee uses a forbidden technique, and then he's like mad at him, but he's also like crying beside him. He's like, Guy, I know you're young, and you know,
youth makes mistakes, bro.
Dude, I love it. I love it.
So he's both mad and like emotional, yeah.
The corniness and the unapologetic corniness, I absolutely love.
Oh my god, exactly. It's so good because they really mean it with their whole heart.
Yeah. And it's amazing how you could be like such a badass while acting like that at the same time.
Yeah, because anyone else does something like that and it's cringe, but because he embraces it so much, it's like it transcends cringe into badassery.
That's what's crazy, because it was cringe to Sasuke and Sakura as well, but like to us, the viewers, I'm like, this is so cool, this is so badass.
Dude, yeah, because they don't care what others think.
They wear the same green tracks.
It's so ugly. Bro, their haircuts and their eyebrows. They make my eyebrows look small.
The bowl cuts, yes.
Bro.
Dude.
Yeah, you gotta love that bowl cut, bro.
Inspiring stuff.
I think Rock Lee's my second favorite character in Naruto.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, I do remember you guys talking about Rock Lee being really underrated as a character. So even though I haven't read the manga before, I remember you guys talking about him specifically a lot.
Also, we do need to preface the people in chat because they're talking and spoiling certain things. We actually only covered the first 20 chapters of the Chunin exams.
Yeah, so we ended at Ino and Sakura's friendship backstory, the most interesting part of the whole thing, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and the haircut, but
yeah, exactly. The hair, long hair versus short hair and simping for Sasuke.
It's symbolic, though. It's symbolic.
That was the most badass thing she does in the entire series, cutting her hair.
It was cool, though. Cool.
And the reason she had long hair is because, and too, is because Sasuke apparently they heard likes long hair.
Yeah, bro. Like every chick when she sees Sasuke has to comment.
Why did they all simp for him so much? It's literally the definition of simping, because he doesn't care at all. He's just like,
dude, because he's edgy. This is exactly. Because he's an edgelord.
Bro, Sasuke would have all the views on TikTok.
Yeah, this is why anime ruined these kids today, because they think if they're just edgelords on the internet, they're going to have all the chicks.
Well, they will today, man. Because of the internet.
I mean, Thorpe's husband is a really wholesome guy, but that's not why he has a fandom. Because he's an edgelord. Deep voice.
I honestly don't know much about him, so I can't comment.
Yeah, I really don't know.
He's a really nice guy.
Okay, so then
Emo-
another interesting thing that was introduced is like there's a new village called Oto, or a village hidden in sound.
Yep.
And
That's
that turns out to be very important later on when we meet the villain of this arc.
Wait, what the hell?
Who's the villain of this arc? I think I know who you're talking about. Okay.
Orochimaru?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far, but yeah.
Snake guy?
Yeah.
I mean, based off what
wait.
we've read so far, he seems like a pretty major villain, right?
Yeah. For sure. Like, cause okay, so we'll get to it when we get to the second test. But yeah, so first test, let's talk about that now because it's basically just a written exam. Which, first of all, Naruto's like, "What? I hate written exams," and I'm sure everyone reading it was like, "I don't care about written exams."
But they also did, before even the written exam. What was your thoughts on everyone having like a different reaction to the Chunin exams? Like, aside from the fact that it's unheard of for rookies to get into the Chunin exams. 3 groups of rookies joined the Chunin exams this year. It wasn't just Team 7, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. It was also Shikamaru, Ino, and Choji, and it was also the other group of Shino, Hinata, and Kiba.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did notice that Hinata is totally into Naruto.
Oh yeah.
You
Bad, bro.
No
You
way.
love
She
to
was
see
like,
it.
she was like, "You can cheat from me, senpai."
And she was like blushing and shit. She's worse than Sakura for Sasuke. I love it. I love it.
No,
She's a lot better. It's better in some way.
It's better, but I mean she has it worse, as in like, you know, it's even more obvious.
Yeah,
but
feel
she's
in the anime, it was also obvious like earlier before this, like in like classroom and stuff, we saw some things. I don't know if they included that in the manga. I don't remember noticing anything. Did you have any hints, Animac? Like before?
So you maybe. But I definitely remember the moment when she offers for him to cheat from her.
Yes.
And she's all like looking like, you know, blushing and stuff.
No, I was just talking before they even became Genin. I feel like there were a few moments, but I think that may have been anime only.
In the first episode, Naruto was like he did his, you know, sexy jutsu in front of Iruka Sensei. And she's like, "Oh, Naruto, what you hoopa hoopa."
And that's when you knew.
Honestly, I don't even remember that.
That's when it was known.
I don't remember that. I'm not sure if it wasn't in the anime or if I...
Yeah, it might have not been in the manga. But here, it was clear when Naruto says, yeah, she's kind of weird. Like, she can't even look me in the eye and stuff like that. Like, he's so oblivious to it, but it's so obvious.
Yeah, Naruto is the pinnacle of emotional intelligence.
Yeah. He's just intelligent. All-round brilliant. Absolute
so the thing was very interesting with the first exam. There was a lot of different rules. Like it reminded me kind of Death Note because you have all these rules and you have to go within these rules. But the goal is to pass the test. And you can cheat, but if you cheat, everyone on your team loses 2 points. And if you lose too many points, you lose. No, and then they only get the 10th question. They don't get it until 40 minutes into the exams. 45 minutes. So yeah, it was like, what's going on? And all the questions were really hard, and Naruto didn't know what he was doing. And
but really, no one knew what they were doing. Very few people would be able to answer those questions.
Only
they
Sakura,
made them,
I think.
Yeah, they made them above the level of like a Genin, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
They made them pretty much impossible, and had eagle-eyed sentry Chunin ninja watching their every move. So really, this wasn't a test of intelligence, which is what they told everyone. It was an intel gathering.
Which makes more sense for them being ninja, right?
Yeah,
it makes perfect sense. And they even planted 2 guys in there.
3 guys. 2 guys. 2 guys.
2 guys who knew all the answers in case they wanted to cheat from them. But they had to cheat in a way that no one notices.
And I love that they added 2 guys because they wanted them to figure out that they needed to cheat. Like Naruto didn't figure it out the whole time.
But he pretended like he did.
Right, they put in these 2 people, even though it's teams of 3. So there wasn't a number that was divisible by 3. There had to be 2, plants.
Yeah, and Sasuke figured it out right away, but he was like, Naruto will never figure this out, and Naruto didn't figure it out.
And
but
Sakura, everyone, the way they cheated was so sick. When I watched that,
all these different techniques. What? Yeah, there were all these different like ninja arts and techniques that they were using in order to cheat. I remember Gaara was using like this like crazy sand vision thing.
Created an eyeball out of sand, which was pretty sick.
The only thing I didn't get is how Tenten could get away with like straight up putting a mirror on the ceiling.
I agree with that actually. That made no sense.
That's what I didn't like get looking back.
And
but
obviously, Byakugan, crazy OP. They could just like look through each other.
Yeah.
And Sasuke, he copied the other person's pen.
Yeah, like his movements and the strokes with his Sharingan. It was super cool.
Like all you really had to do in that test was not cheat, not get caught cheating enough times, and then answer the final question.
Yeah.
So like really, the only people that failed were the people who like couldn't take the pressure and fucked up when they were supposed to like not be noticed for cheating. Like,
you have to get caught like 5 times in order to get kicked out. So even if you got caught once but was able to get like all the answers from it, it was worth it.
There was another way to lose.
If you gave up, for sure. Yeah.
If you give up before the final question.
Yeah. Which
so the question at the end, so the 10th question, before it was given, the proctor guy, I forget his name now.
Ibiki Morino.
Okay,
Nice.
that's why I forgot his name. But so he basically says, listen, if you get this question wrong, you will never be able to apply for Chunin again.
Which is insane.
It's insane because that's their whole career. They're whole hoping to be, become Chunin advance as ninjas. So he's like, if you get this question wrong, you can never apply again. If you get it right, you pass the test. But you have the option of just walking away and not taking the test, just taking it next year again. And if in that case, you won't have to worry about failing the test completely and never being able to like take it again. So then Sakura's thinking, like, obviously Naruto's dumbass. He's not gonna get this. He's never gonna be able to become a Chunin again. So maybe I should quit, because if one person quits, then their whole team has to quit. And then we could just all do it again when we get another proctor who's not going to have the same type of question, and then we're going to be okay.
Dude, it was actually pretty wholesome. It was pretty wholesome for Sakura to be like, well, his goal is to like get recognized and become Hokage. If he can't do it, like if he fails this, he'll never be able to become Hokage. And then it's super badass on the reverse with Naruto slamming his desk. Even if I'm a Genin forever, I'm still going to be the Hokage of the village. I loved it.
Yes. Yeah, so Sakura was going to do it, and it was actually like a moment that I respected her, because she was willing to, sacrifice her own interest for the sake of Naruto.
I mean, not really. Like,
well, she was confident that she would know the answer. So
yeah, she's growing as a character.
No, she's not. But what I was saying is,
she is, bro, 100%.
If she was gonna give up, let's say she gives up, right? And she forfeits for their whole squad. Their whole squad gets kicked out, and then they can all take the test again. If not, Naruto will get no points, and they'll fail anyway, and no one will take the test again. She wasn't just doing it for her own interest. She knew the answer, but
but it was specifically like you could definitely tell it was something for Naruto. Like she had the thought process. She thought back to Naruto saying he wanted to become the Hokage and he had those goals. That was definitely.
This is why Nux, if I recall correctly, you can still fail this test, like not get any answers right. As long as you get the 10th question right, you will still be able to take the test again. But if you get the 10th question wrong, you will never be able to take the test again. So I think that Sakura was like, I'm going to be able to get that question wrong. Right, I'll be okay, but Naruto won't, and then he will never be able to do the test again. Because her and Sasuke would have been fine if they got the answer correct.
Well, they still would have failed, but I think they would still be allowed to take it. You're right.
Yeah, the most interesting thing was just that Sakura was, in her mind, not thinking of her, not thinking of Sasuke, but thinking of Naruto and what he wants. So it was like the first selfless moment, one of the first selfless moments.
Yeah, but then what happens is, as Briggs mentioned, Naruto jumps out before she can do anything and says, I'm taking this, let's go. Like he does this like inspirational kind of, we can do this speech, which then motivates everyone else to stay in the game and not to quit, because they're like, after this dude just did this whole thing, we're not gonna be like, well, I quit. So he motivated everyone to stay, and then everyone who stayed ended up passing automatically, because the whole point was for them to show that they're willing to stay and risk everything, because that's part of being a ninja. Sometimes you got to carry out the mission at all costs. You can't just bail.
And it's all about leadership, and there Naruto was by far the best leader, right? Because he's the one who ease the doubts of everyone else.
Yeah. Again, he wasn't
after the exam when Ibiki Morino looks at Naruto's paper
That was so good. Yeah, he had no answers. He's like, wow, man, this guy is fucking crazy.
So even during the exam, though, there were a few scenes that just it made you curious about the other competitors. Like Kankuro, Gaara's bro. Kankuro goes to the bathroom, right? You remember that anime?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he created like a dummy and passed him along as one of the.
He passed him off as one of the proctors.
Yeah,
Dude,
that was great.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, it ended up being completely unnecessary, but definitely crazy.
No, but all of it was unnecessary. And then, like Ino had this mind transfer jutsu that she would transfer her mind into someone that knew the answers, and then transfer her mind into her teammates to write down the answers.
Yes,
that's pretty huge. I love that.
That was great.
Shikamaru did not do much there.
No, not really. Dosu's the sound guy with the mummy wrap bandages.
Yeah.
Dosu, he copied down answers based on the sound of the pen strokes of the person that was sitting behind
That was epic. That stood out to me too.
When I saw it, I was just like losing my mind. Like, oh my god, these guys.
I love the sound stuff.
I thought it was awesome how, I thought it was awesome how this written test ended up being such a great opportunity to showcase all these different skills and powers, right?
Dude, this written test was so good. I cannot get over how much I love it.
Yeah.
And also, it shows off characters, it shows off personality, it shows off actual character development, which happened during this thing.
And you would not
what they're going to be up against during the actual fighting portions of the exam.
And you would not expect something like that in a battle shonen necessarily, right?
Exactly. It shined, even though there wasn't a battle or like there wasn't a fight.
Mr. Literature guy, it shone.
Very well.
I don't know. I think both could work.
No.
Anyway, the point is, awesome. Loved the first test. Really stood out to me. And again, it totally subverted my expectations for what a written exam is supposed to be.
Or for what a training arc is supposed to be in general.
Yeah, it was great. Because we can all relate to having written exams. Like, even though we're not ninjas, we all had written exams and we can relate to it. But the way they did it was freaking amazing. And then we go into the second test, which is the Forest of Death.
Forest of Death.
And we learned that only half of the teams, so there's a bunch of teams, I think like 48, but only half of the teams can pass because the teams that pass have to get 2 scrolls at the same time, the Heaven Scroll and the Earth Scroll. But half of the teams have a single Heaven Scroll, half have a single Earth Scroll. So that means that only half can take both scrolls. And it was also implied by Anko, who, by the way, kind of waifu material, not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie, that is actually a solid take until Boruto happens.
I don't know what happened to Boruto, but I will say that she's crazy and crazy waifu material, and she implies that you can basically kill people during this test, doesn't she?
Yep.
Yeah. That's
ninja.
fair game.
This isn't high school for up-and-coming superheroes to face off against people who have the power to blow their nose in public, okay? This is
these guys are treated as adults at this point, right?
Because they are technically ninja, they're just junior ninjas, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was crazy. It raises the stakes. And then when we get into the actual forest, there's a lot of like crazy wild beasts and all this other stuff happening. And apparently they're going to be there 5 days. So it's like a survival test. And then we get the reveal of a villain, Orochimaru, who is this like snake. He ate the snake fruit. So he's like a snake human. And that was pretty nuts. So basically what happened was they found 3 people who were supposed to be competing in the Chunin exams dead. Like they were straight up dead. And Orochimaru had 3 of his guys take their place. And I guess he has like a technique where he can copy people's faces. It was pretty nuts, man.
And he erases their faces, which is the scary part.
Yeah. That's the scary part. Not that he murdered 3 students in cold blood. Now that's easy, whatever.
Well,
but you see that all the time, bro. You see that all the time. You see murder all the time. You don't see people's faces erased, bro.
All right, man. We clearly have different values.
I agree.
I mean, that's what made it creepy, though. Like it's obviously like someone's infiltrating the exams. They murdered 3 students, but then the creepy aspect, like the face is gone, right? Yeah, exactly.
Face stealer.
Yeah,
All right,
and then
all right. I'll
that
give it to
raises
you.
the stakes so much further because not only can all these students kill each other, but someone already killed 3 other students, infiltrated the test, and is there with who knows what plans. So it's like, yo, this is crazy. And then we actually learned that Orochimaru, this snake dude, was Anko's former teacher.
Bruh.
Yes, we do.
Dun, dun, dun.
The plot thickens.
And then he faces off against Naruto and Sasuke. He kind of kicks their ass, and he
Wait,
leaves
hold
a
on.
mark.
Okay, that was a really
No,
cool
wait,
fight, though.
Wait. You see, this is what I mean, bro. You gotta put more respect on the different actual phases of the exam. The first thing that happened was not Orochimaru technically fighting them, was it?
No,
There was
so
a side ninja, guys.
I
Right?
just wanted to talk about just want to mention that he leaves like a mark on Sasuke's neck,
Yeah,
which I
but-
thought was a crazy concept.
Before he left the mark on Sasuke's neck, crazy as a concept as that may be, there was also a whole epic fight, and there was a whole thing before that. There was a whole secret code that they came up with to make
Oh
sure.
yes, the password. Yeah, that was awesome.
All right, go for it.
But doesn't Naruto forget the password?
That was Death Note like vibes right there.
I forgot about the password, so I guess I'm the Naruto here. But no, it was great because Sasuke knew that people were listening in on them, so they're like, let's come up with a password so that we know that people are not pretending to be us, because they already had issues with people using the technique to copy other people's appearance and try to infiltrate their team. So he comes up with like this poem that they need to memorize, and then when one of the guys tries to pretend to be Naruto and he has the thing memorized, Sasuke's like, ha, Naruto would never memorize that. You're not Naruto.
That's solid. That was so funny.
Though, and first of all, the technique employed by the other team is awesome, right? Everyone has a different strategy, how they're going to get both scrolls, how they're going to survive this, and etc., etc. But even more than that, you got Sasuke outbraining them. I mean, this was probably the thing I respect Sasuke for most in the entire early 90s.
Yeah, he was doing some big brain stuff for sure. And then he even, like, someone else, I think later on, pretends to be Naruto. And then he's like, if you were really Naruto, you'd be like, yo, Sasuke, I can't remember that stupid password of yours. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, exactly. It was like 3-dimensional chess. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and the Orochimaru fight was really good. I do recall it being a really good fight itself. I just my mind went right to the mark that he left on Sasuke, and apparently 9 out of 10 people who have that mark end up dying. So I thought that was a freaking crazy thing.
Yes, but in Chunin, the odds are always improved.
So, like, up until this point, Sasuke was constantly saving Naruto, and Naruto was getting frustrated with like him always kind of being the backseat guy, needing to be saved. And in this fight against Orochimaru, Naruto comes in and he literally says to Sasuke, "You must be a clone, because there's no way Sasuke would lack this much courage." It was I love that like reverse dynamic. It was so well done.
It was funny because he wasn't even a clone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just trying to be smart, and Naruto like doesn't respect that. He's like, you gotta just be brave, and whatever happens, happens, bro.
Yeah,
and he calls him a scaredy cat.
It was also so cool. You saw Naruto going all out, and Orochimaru recognizing that Naruto, in fact, has something within him.
Mm-hmm.
And he put a 5-pronged seal on top of the 8 tetragram seal that Naruto already had.
Yeah, like I saw him do something with his hand, but like I don't know if they said that, but for sure.
It did. He put his hand on the 9-tailed fox seal.
He did, yeah.
And he said 5-pronged seal.
Oh yeah, because he noticed that there was the 9-tailed fox was within Naruto, and it was starting to act up as Naruto was fighting him, right? Like you could see it in his eyes that they were getting like beast-like.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
My man out here, the OG Beast Titan.
Yeah, he has a cool beast though, not just some hairy ape.
Well, I'm pretty sure foxes are hairy, bro.
Yeah, but at least it's a fox. No, I just love the fox.
Bro,
whole aesthetic.
The fight was
my
great.
favorite Pokemon, Ninetales, is my favorite Pokemon.
I respect that. Ninetales is a sick Pokemon.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm so glad you shared that, bro.
It's relevant. We're talking. Oh.
And Ninetales and the...
We know it's the 9-tailed fox.
Ninetales and the 9-tailed fox are both based on the same legend, right?
I'm like, wait, did I spoil something? But yeah, we
Oh,
know
yeah.
it's the
You
Nine-Tailed
literally
Fox.
spoiled episode 1, man. How can you do that?
Oh my god, how could you spoil episode 1 of a 20-plus-year-old series?
But Briggs is 100% right. You see in these shonen, like them reuse a lot of myths, and Orochi is one of them, right? The whole Orochimaru, you see it in One Piece as well.
Yeah,
That's
he was
the
a
snake.
dude.
Yeah, Orochi the snake dude. Yeah, I didn't make that connection until now.
How did you not make that connection, Animac? I thought you were a PhD in political philosophy.
Well, I didn't think of One Piece in that context. I
Bro,
just,
that's the problem. You must always be thinking of One Piece. When
Always
reading
think of One
Naruto,
Piece.
just compare to One Piece at all times.
I know. That's what you do, bro.
Dude, early Naruto is actually better than early One Piece. I'm gonna
I
say
agree.
it again.
I agree.
You know how Marxists, they always look at everything through a Marxist lens. So they're like, you look at union rights as in Marxist lens. They look at stock markets in the Marxist lens. Briggs is like that, but for One Piece, everything is in a One Piece lens.
Yeah, there are many worse lens than One Piece lens. I respect it.
See, the beauty of One Piece, Nux, is the consistency. How good it is consistently. Naruto, on the other hand, bro, up until now, it's been fire. I will say.
And it will continue to be fire.
You're definitely not implying that it doesn't. Stay
No, you have a long way to go, Animac. You're gonna enjoy it.
Better. It
only gets. I mean, this arc especially only gets better.
Dude, the Chunin exam arc is like one of my top 10 shonen arcs. It's so good, like the whole way through. Introducing a villain so terrifying at this point in the story when they're just focusing on surviving on this crazy exam. That's so cool.
Yeah, it raised the arcs, the stakes so much from we went from a training arc that's kind of intense to like, yo, people could die here. People have died. The other three that were supposed to.
I'm so glad that. Oh my god, I'm so glad that we're doing this because I remember when My Hero Academia season 2 was going on, and I was and everyone was like, "Oh my god, this is better than the Chunin exams." Like everyone was saying that the tournament arc in My Hero Academia.
What tournament arc? The festival?
Keep that question in mind, Animac, as we move on to the next.
Wait. The festival?
Everyone was saying that tournament arc. No, it was the one with like first they had like this running, and then they had like the headband thing.
Bro, yeah, that was the festival arc, bro.
If anyone, I'm against cancel culture, but anyone who said that should be canceled.
Yeah, like
people were saying that this is the best shonen like exam.
People get lost in the moment, right? And then they're like, they don't even remember how Naruto actually was, and they're just like, "Yo, I'm enjoying this. This is the best."
Yeah, the sports festival. Come on, man, bro. Don't even compare that. Like, I haven't even finished this arc in Naruto, and I can tell you it's much better.
It was definitely the best festival.
Nothing like an Orochi. So then after Naruto kind of got slapped by Orochimaru, something else pretty epic happens.
Sakura cuts her hair.
No,
that's not.
So Sasuke pulls a pretty sick move. He uses the Dragon Flame Jutsu. He uses that string thing that he nabbed from Kakashi.
Yes, and he actually gets the face burned off.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was epic and scary. That was a great image.
Yeah, he burns off the fake face. No, it was a great fight. I mean, Sakura...
He stabbed himself too. I just want to point that out. That was sick to escape the Genjutsu.
Yeah. So he stabbed himself, but that was that against Orochimaru or someone else?
Orochimaru, I'm pretty sure.
Orochimaru.
Yeah, he stabbed himself so that to focus on the pain, to not be tricked by the illusions, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember that. No, it was a great fight. Again, Sasuke didn't do much. I mean, Sakura didn't do much, but then she kind of, after both Naruto and Sasuke passed out after that fight, then Sakura kind of took care of them and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Where exactly did you read until? Like, what did you read until? What was the last thing that happened?
The last thing that happened was Sakura and Ino's kind of backstory thing.
Yeah, but so pretty much what happened was Sakura...
Wait. No, dude.
They're fighting the sound people.
Lee moment.
So what happened was they were fighting the sound people, and Rock Lee was helping. And then... But Rock Lee couldn't take them all on his own, and Naruto and Sasuke are still passed out at this point. And then Sakura actually does do something useful. She goes to, in order to protect Rock Lee, Naruto, and Sasuke.
She cuts her hair.
No, she cuts her hair, and then she also jumps on the sound guy, and he thinks she's gonna switch out with the tree stump again. but she doesn't, and she takes the kunai to her body in order to be able to reach him and like attack him.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
everyone
was
has
cool.
to admit that was epic.
Yeah.
that was
Alright.
an epic.
I'm
moment.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna flag on the field. You don't just say Lee fought the sound guys, okay?
Okay, but wait.
No, this is not okay.
Nux, can you
We'll
for
get
once
back
in your
to
life
it.
acknowledge
We'll get
something cool Sakura does?
Can we first talk about that? It wasn't just Lee fought the sound guys.
Well, you just asked what is the last thing we read up to, Nux?
Yeah,
And
he
I
was
told
just
you
summarizing.
But then you started describing this whole thing. Well, before your epic description, which is epic, mind you, very epic, and we appreciate you. But
Nux
Lee
appreciates
left his
Sakura.
group.
Let it be known. Sakura fan.
Lee left his group. He jeopardized his own success to help out a friend in need.
Chivalry.
The Lee's group, they kind of split up for a bit just to kind of look at the surroundings, see what's up. And then Lee saw that Sakura was in trouble because at this point, Sasuke and Naruto are still passed out. And
Lee also made friends with a chipmunk.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
so Sakura fought a squirrel. That was pretty epic.
Yeah,
But-
one of Sakura's greatest moments.
Yeah, it was one of the best fights in this arc, Sakura versus Squirrel. And then it was very emotional when the squirrel actually like comes on the side of the heroes with Rock Lee. Like that was
Let's
a
go,
big twist.
Squirrel Gang!
Squirrel Gang for sure. Yeah, so Rock Lee shows up and we know he likes Sakura, and he vowed earlier on before the exam started, he vowed to put his life on the line to protect her because he is
Till death, yeah.
chivalrous. And Sakura doesn't really give a shit about him, but he still cares about her.
She appreciates it though. She appreciates this moment. She looks at him in a different way now. Still not in a sexual way, but
Yeah.
in a
Yes,
different
Yes,
way.
he decides to put himself on the line to fight all three of those sound guys because Sakura at this point already is kind of like drained because she did so much, obviously, and those other two guys are passed out. So then Lee has to use his taijutsu or whatever to fight
Or
all three of
whatever.
these like, sound guys, and they have all these tricks up their
Taijutsu or whatever.
sleeve.
Their
They have-
tricks are amazing, by the way. Like the
Yeah, they have all
sound.
these
Those
tricks up their
tricks are
sleeves
so
that-
cool.
Yes, like they could destroy rocks and boulders by like
Did you guys-
using
did you
sound
guys, like,
vibration.
before the podcast started, did you guys like say, "Yo, let's all talk over Animac at the same time"?
No, but
right,
I would do
proceed.
that. If that is a thing I would do.
Like, either decide, are you gonna talk over me, or are you gonna expect me to have reactions to this part you're telling me about?
It just pains me to hear you say or whatever to Rock Lee's
Honestly,
taijutsu,
yeah,
my dude. I had to
next
make a
time-
comment about that. I had to.
We want to
Thank
add
you,
to it.
Briggs. Thank you, Briggs. I
I-
honestly, for your job, Animac, not that I want to give you extra jobs, but when you read for next week's Naruto Virgin, pay more attention to the fights.
I didn't say
Or at least
taijutsu.
put notes down. For
I
the
said
fights.
taijutsu or whatever because I'm not sure if that's the name. I was like, or whatever the name is. I wasn't
Something happened to your
undermining
mic.
it.
I think something happened to your mic.
Okay, but it's part of the comedy for us to bring up the or whatever thing. We can't just let that slide. Come on. It isn't just, oh yes, this happens and then this happens.
It was-
Like let's have some
Yeah.
fun with it. It's not a big
It's
deal.
part of the love, bro. There's a reason there are more of us than just one person talking.
Yeah.
Do I sound okay now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I think you just had like something in your throat or something.
Yeah. I'm the bitterness that I feel with all you cutting me
Being
off.
talked over. Yeah, how dare we?
He fights bitterness to survive.
Believe it.
No, so yeah, so what I meant by that is that I forgot the exact name, but I think it's really cool how he has perfected the physical aspect alone. I don't know if it's because he can't do the other stuff or if he just chose to focus on the one thing, but he did have some epic. Oh yeah, so there was that forbidden technique, right? He used that forbidden technique against the sound guy,
Yep.
and he thought, okay, this technique is gonna take him out, but because he had the sound powers, he was able to kind of negate a bit of the effects of the technique, so he wasn't taken out. And then Rock Lee was like, "Shit, now what do I do?"
Yeah, that was another guy who made the ground soft so that the impact wouldn't actually hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
Guy A.
like, you got every time he would punch at Lee and Lee would block the strike, he had this device on his arm that would send sound waves and like burst Lee's eardrums.
And there's some
Yeah.
biology in there too because it throws off your balance. It's not just like ringing in your ear.
Yeah, those guys are pretty deadly, and there's 3 of them,
Yep.
2 guys and 1 girl. I think the other one's a girl.
Yeah,
And
but you didn't do
then-
anything.
Yeah, and then Rock Lee is by himself, and like I guess Sakura is there, but she's not. She can't help him too much.
Yeah, she's not doing a lot.
Yeah, and then you got Ino Shikacho.
Yo, Shikamaru!
Yeah,
I love him so much.
Ino and the other two show up, and they're kind of just like looking from behind bushes, and they're like, you know what? They look screwed. We probably shouldn't get involved because we're gonna get wrecked. Because Ino and those guys kind of have the understanding that they're the weakest or among the weakest of the groups. So their whole strategy is let's wait for everyone else to kill each other off, and then we're just gonna try to win that way.
Yeah, let's find the weakest people is their strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, but then when they saw Sakura trying to kind of actually help Rock Lee, Naruto, and Sasuke and protect them, but failing in the face of overwhelming force from the Sound guys, Ino remembers back to when her and Sakura used to be friends and simping together for Sasuke and all this fun stuff and long hair. And then she's like, you know what, I have to do something. So she ends up actually getting involved in the fight.
And you missed the importance of Sakura's forehead. That was very important in the story.
Her forehead's so big because she's so smart. Like she slapped those that test. The idea was for everyone to cheat, but she didn't even have that idea because she didn't even think they were that hard for herself.
I like Briggs hyping up Sakura.
Bro, I am Sakura's #1 fan since day one, bro. Since day one.
Yeah, fair enough. I like Hinata.
I'm just playing around. But one of my favorite things about early Naruto is the actual thought process and the fights and the bluffing. The bluffing is so cool. She uses the substitution jutsu the first time, and the second time, when they think she's going to use the substitution jutsu, she takes the hit head on in order to get an attack in on someone who's clearly more powerful than her, and I loved it.
Yes, and you would not have expected her to take that hit. He thought she was just going to bluff him.
Yeah, it would have been dumb.
They view her as like this girly, feminine person who has long hair and like cares about like physical appearance, and she just takes like these things that are going to leave scars on her arms, right? And she just takes it with brute force. It's crazy.
Oh no, some scars on her arms. She's a ninja, bro.
Yeah, I know, but man, she's like...
I love how they definitely they put some emphasis on that. Even her cutting her hair was a big deal.
Yeah.
Chill.
And symbolically, we could joke about it, but symbolically, it's like her moving beyond that kind of trying to be like the perfect girl for Sasuke. It's like, no, let's actually... be helpful. Let's
focus on becoming a good ninja, not just someone Sasuke like to get with Sasuke. Yeah.
Yes. She becomes less superficial at that moment.
Fake news. She's still superficial.
No, I think that's right because her and Ino are shown to be very much like girly, and they're both rivals for the same guy. Very teenage girl stuff. But in this scene, we see the hair being cut, Sakura willing to sacrifice her body. Ino willing to step up and protect her friend, even though they end up falling out because of Sasuke. So it is symbolic of them maturing, even though they have a lot of teenage girl tendencies.
Yeah, and I don't know what it's like to be a teenage girl, obviously, but it is weird that she's like, "Oh, you like the same guy? We can't be friends anymore." They stop hanging out.
It seems so out of place in in this manga to have that type of thing. That's why her big moment being her cutting her hair was like such a. I feel like it pissed people off.
Well, yeah, it's like they're still people. They're still teenage kids, even though they're ninjas. So they're trying to balance out the two aspects of their lives.
Only in anime. Only in anime.
Teenage girls are still gonna have crushes on guys, even though they're trying to be ninjas.
But if you're gonna not be friends with anyone who has a crush on Sasuke, that's like 99% of the female population.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not friends with anyone that has a crush on Sasuke.
Same.
Yo, fuck Sasuke.
That's why Swagage and I had a falling out. That was a joke, by the way. People in chat.
The theories begin. Why Nuxtaku and Swagage are no longer friends? Explained.
Yeah, explained with facts and logic.
Yeah, so that's where this part that we've covered ended. Do you guys know which chapters we're covering next week?
It depends how many chapters you're willing to cover, Animac.
10 to 15.
All right, let's do 15.
Easy.
We have a lot of Chunin chapters, so we got to get through it, All
right, cool. So
let's enjoy the journey, though.
So UB in chat is recommending chapter 73 to stop on. So that's 19 chapters.
No.
Is that too much?
Yes. Because this week we had 2 weeks to because we did the One Piece podcast last week.
All right, 15 chapters from 54. Math.
Dude,
We'll
The
have
best
it in the,
To the best number.
description of the podcast for sure.
To the best number, 69.
There we go.
69, let's go. Nice.
That's easy to
on
remember.
69, finishing strong. And yeah, I'm curious about these sound guys because the whole concept of this being like a new town that they haven't competed before, that was interesting. And it turns out that they're actually working for Orochimaru and they have these really cool sound powers. So they really are from a sound place. Like that place wasn't made up. Yeah, I'm curious to find out more about that for sure.
Did you see Gaara in this Forest of Death at all?
I don't think we saw him yet.
Yeah, I don't think we saw him yet.
I think we saw him probably like when the teams were all getting set, but I don't think he did anything yet.
Okay. Because I forget, like, what he does is whatever. It's not so linear, so I don't know if you met him already.
Yeah, we will see that for the next podcast for sure.
All right.
All right, cool. Sounds good, guys. Thank you for joining me again for Naruto Virgin. We're back next week. If you are a One Piece Virgin fan, we do have a new episode up from last week, so check that out, covering up to chapter 1004. And yeah, a lot of fun. Loving the Chunin exam so far. Definitely better than any training arc in MHA, like not even close. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.
Bang.